Well, the first day of the Border Gavaskar Trophy has already seen a major controversy when you have to look at the KL Rahul dismissal. KL Rahul was batting solidly on 23 of 79 balls. He had weathered the early storm after the top order collapsed. But he just was undone by a good delivery, but then replays suggested and the angles that were present ensured that it remained a very controversial decision. Afterwards, they showed the front on, but then it showed that it was still a very dodgy 50-50 decision. Now, this has angered India on social media, the way how it is. What is it with dismissals, umpiring and the Border Gavaskar Trophy that makes it so controversial? Why did the third umpire have to rush in this particular instance? When KL Rahul was dismissed, he was shaking his head, he was not happy at all. And this also divided opinions on social media, but most of it, majority of them, were in the side of KL Rahul, stating that yes, he was unlucky and that he just could not ensure that he got the decision in his favor. Now, several commentators have stated that yes, Pumelelo Bangwa, who is one of the best commentators we have and also from Zimbabwe, he stated, oops, got that wrong. So he believes that the wrong decision was made and that Australia versus India at this particular instance, it was the top trend. But then he got that dismissal wrong, and that is why this was not a very, very good situation. Murli Karthik, who is also a former India player, he stated, I'm still trying to figure this. The claim was we have a million cameras when the test match started, and just when you need the other cameras, they are conveniently unavailable for KL's decision. It was such a big spike for maybe a feather if there was any. Surprising. It was indeed strange. At Perth, why are there manned cameras? When you know that cameras are stationed side on and front on, why is there manned cameras? Now, this is a major issue that's going to happen because you need the angles that ensure that the right decision is made. And in this case, the evidence that was present was just very, very inconclusive. And that's why, unfortunately, when you look at it, it is not a good situation. The umpiring yet again is under the scanner in a Border Gavaskar Trophy. Lot of other people have stemmed from the fact that yes, it all began 16 years ago. Sydney, the test known for Monkey Gate. At this point, KL Rahul will be getting these vibes because the Australians claimed that it was out, but in this case, Australia appealed, and that is why the decision went upstairs. But when it comes to umpiring, there is a problem. So that is why the third umpire rushed into the decisions. He could have taken time to ensure all the frames were checked, all the angles were there. If it was available to him, then why didn't he not do that? So that is why, if you have to look at it, it all stems from the mistrust in umpiring from that Sydney test of 2008. Robin Uthappa was very, very angry. In fact, he used an expletive in the previous tweet by which we couldn't use this. So that is why, carrying on from that expletive tweet, he stated, how a third umpire makes a decision without accessing all angles? Poor, just very poor. Robin was very, very angry at what had happened. So that's why he vented out his frustrations on social media. And that is what the majority of the fans are siding by, because India is not happy with the way how KL Rahul was dismissed. The umpiring in particular was left a lot to be desired. Now, many people have spoken about the angle. They have stated, look at these angles. It's an indication that the real story of KL Rahul's dismissal. India have a habit to cry on every dismissal whether it's fair or not. So, one major decision that was there, okay, now you might say that it is hindsight and vindication that yes, one decision came, the bat was rather close to the pad and also pretty close to the ball also. So it's typically KL Rahul's bad luck that is happening, because if you look at it, looking at the real time thing which many people have seen, it looked like there was a woody sound. The woody sound that happens, it's probably thing, but at that time, the angles that were presented was very, very inconclusive. And so, was this out? Was this not out? That debate remains, and India will want to make a big issue out of it. Whereas, if you look at it, maybe replays will confirm later, potentially there was an edge. So maybe the umpires would have gotten away with it. But social media is not happy, and that is why now KL Rahul's dismissal will prove to be a major talking point on day one of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Do you think that it was unfair? Do you think KL Rahul was wrongly given out, or was he given out? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.